Welcome to Consulting Chai. Today I'm going to talk about HR assessment. So, as we know, there are four very important things to get the hospital running and, of course, profitably. So, one being operations, second being HR, third being marketing, and fourth being the finance. So, if these four things are working together in unison and you're doing it all good, then the hospital functions smoothly and profitably. So, out of those four, one of the most important aspect point is HR. So, out of the whole HR thing, the topic today is HR manpower assessment. Okay, so please see the video till the end. I'll be covering one of the very important points here. Okay. So the contents are like why do we need to do HR assessment, and then the processes I'll talk about. One is the employee feedback, then peer feedback, MBTI, it's a psychometric analysis, then skill intent matrix, then outcome measurements, and then the final thing, personal interviews. So let's dive in. So why do you need to do HR assessment? Just like in a car, there are several machineries, and working in unison, the car moves. If any of these are not functioning well, then there's a problem with the car. We in a hospital generally ignore when certain machineries are not functioning because the ultimate thing, patient, they are getting treated and you're making some money from the hospital. But in order to understand the one of the most important machineries in a hospital, you need to do HR assessment. So HR, as in the manpower that you have in your hospital, these are the units of the functions of several functions which are there in your hospital, and you need to understand whether they are aligned to the hospital's vision. So we need to identify certain things. Number one, you need to identify whether your staff is a contributor. So let's take an example of cricket. So in cricket, who are contributor? The people, the players who are taking wickets, the players who are making runs. Those are contributors. Then you have co-contributors. Co-contributors, they are the bowlers and the batsmen who are contributing a little, as in they are making some runs so that they are contributing to the total score. And there are certain bowlers who are taking few wickets and they are economical. So they are co-contributors. So when co-contributors, they are trained well, they will become contributors. And then you have assistant contributors. The assistant contributors are like they have not come to that level where yeah. So in cricket, you just don't need people who take runs or take wickets. You also need fielders. So the fielders who saves run, the fielders who catches, they are also required. So they are like assistant contributors, assistant co-contributors. Sorry. Then you have people who are functioning up and down. So there are certain players in your team who are missing out certain catches, who are not able to save runs. So and sometimes they are doing it. Okay, so this is the level 4 kind of stuff. And then last, there are certain staff who are missing catches. They're not able to take catches, and somehow in a hospital setting, you will see that some people are fighting. So see, in case of cricket, what will happen if a wicket keeper has a argument with a bowler, and he says, I'm not taking his catch. I'm not taking his catch because I have bad terms with the bowler. So if he bowls and if I get the opportunity to catch, I'll not take the catch. So in hospital settings, you will see things like this happens. Okay. So ultimately, who is suffering? The hospital functions. Okay. So you need to understand and identify these kind of people. So let's go ahead and see how do we identify it. Okay. Back. So this is where we try to understand what the employees are looking for. Okay. So what do we need to see in a employee feedback? We can see the salary adequacy. So whether the staff they are happy with the salary. Um, this thing can be and this can be an important question if we find out that um, most of the staff they are complaining about this, then we might need to do something about it. There are several things that we can do, uh, not to satisfy everyone, but to be just and to be um, fair with the compensation. Then we need to understand about the promotion of the employees, their opportunities of promotions. Then we need to understand what they are thinking about their current work-life balance. Then the physical facility that they are having. Do they need anything there? Then supervisor support. Are they getting enough supervisor support or they need more? We need to understand how the relation with their colleagues they are. We need to understand whether they are happy with the job, whether it is aligned, the job is aligned with their how they think and what they want in their career, whether it is aligned to that. We need to understand certain training need that they might have. So training access. Then we need to understand whether they are happy with the communications that they have. And then we need to understand whether um, they are happy with the kind of recognition that they get after certain achievements that they have. So we need to see all these points, do a survey, and score and see which points are having the least numbers and which points are having the most numbers. Then we need to work on the top 3 4 points accordingly. So survey, then we do analysis, then we take actions, and then we do a survey again to understand the impact of those actions and keep on improving. Okay. What the staffs they are looking for, we need to see what other people are thinking about that stuff. So we need to ask for everyone. We need to ask their peers as in people who are in their own level. We need to ask the seniors and we need to ask the juniors. Okay, so there will be lot of too many datas and too many questions. So to keep things simple, to each one of the staffs will tell, take 3 or 5 of your peers, 3 or 5 of your seniors, and 3 or 5 of your juniors, and you score them. Okay, in what basis? So you need to ask the peers, you need to ask the juniors, you need to ask the seniors, and this is what you need to ask about whether those people they are knowledgeable or not, whether those people they are skilled or not, whether those people, their behavior is appropriate or not. Their efficiency, at the speed at which they do their work completely and effectively. So the efficiency we'll need to ask. And then we need to ask them about problem solving knack. So these 5 questions are enough. So each one of them, they will take three of their seniors, three of their peers, 3 to 5 of their seniors, 3 to 5 of their peers, 3 to 5 of their juniors, randomly, everyone, and then they score. So for everyone, we will have several scores, and then we will analyze, and then we'll see how each one of them they score. Okay. Now the next thing, this is MBTI. It's a psychometric analysis. This basically tells you about 16 different personalities. This is just a beginning. Okay, this helps us to understand where to start assessing the staff. Okay, so how do we assess this? In terms of whether they are extrovert or introvert, whether they are sensors or intuitives, whether they are thinkers or feelers, whether they are judgmental or perceivers. So extrovert and introvert, extroverts, they gain energy from people and action, and introverts, they recharge, they do it alone. Okay, so it's about the sociability. So like patient facing or analytical roles, like that. The sensors and intuitions, people who are intuitives, sensors, they focus on facts and details. Intuitive people, they see patterns, and they are more creative. They have big ideas. They are open to experience. Okay, thinkers and feelers. So thinkers decide with logic, and feelers, they prioritize value and harmony. Okay, here we see the agreeableness. So it's crucial for ethical choices in care or conflict resolution situation among staff. Then we have judges and perceivers. So judges, they plan and they seek closure. Okay, perceivers, they prefer flexibility. Okay, so it's about conscientiousness. So it predicts compliance and protocols, or agility in emergencies. Okay, so these 16 personalities can be categorized into analyst. So you have INTJ, INTP, ENTJ, ENTP. So these are analyst, hardcore analyst, but with certain differences. Then these four, INFJ, INFP, ENFJ, ENFP, these are diplomats. Then the sentinels, these people are ISTJ, ISFJ, ESTJ, ESFJ. These are sentinels. Okay, and then we have explorers who are like ISTP, ISFP, ESTP, ESFP. Okay, so these personalities, they have certain characteristics. So once we understand what personality they have, then it helps us in starting the conversation. And apart from these 16, there are two kind of people. They are called assertive or turbulent. Assertive are those people who are more flexible, who listens to people, and then they put their contribution. Turbulent, they are most likely those kind of people who are like, they have a rigid thought that this is how it should be, so this is how it should be. Okay. Once we complete the MBTI assessment and we understand their personality type, we also need to see it from a different dimension, and that is the skill intent matrix. So, um, this matrix, we are seeing people whether they are skilled or not skilled, um, and they have good intent or they have bad intent. So people who are skilled and who has intent. So basically, we ask them questions, several questions. So from there, we understand whether in which category do they fall. So skilled and intent people who have good intent, they understand what uh, they know their work and they keep on doing their work. So in order to help them, we need to understand what they need. Okay, so this should be the action. Once we identify those person as skilled and they have good intent. There are certain people who have less skilled, but they have good intention, or do they show that they have good intention. So how do you handle those people? You need to provide training, you need to provide support so that they become more skilled. Then you need to review their learning ability and then decide. If their learning ability is poor, if they do not learn, then they are as good as people who have no intention. Okay, or bad intention, or not good intention, less intent. Then the third type of person is skilled, but they are less. They are not so enthusiastic about their work. So how do we handle them? We need to set challenges as per their interest. They would say, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that, but they are not getting the opportunity. So those people needs to be challenged. They need to give certain task, challenges, targets, and which should be aligned to the organization's need. Okay, and then we review their dedication. Okay, if they are not able to do as per their skill, then they have less intention and they are not in a mood to uh, upgrade themselves. And then we have the last one, less skilled, and they have less intention. So you would think like, let's just fire them. Okay, but to be fair, you should give them certain training and support for maximum one month, and then you review their learning ability, whether they are able to become more skilled, and their dedication, or they are changing themselves into people who have more intent, whether the organization's needs and their desires, whether those things are aligned. You should give um, 1 month's time maximum, and then you decide. Okay. Then, in order to do the outcome measurements, you need to sit with the management. You need to sit with people who know those people. So, to start with, you can just take all the in charges and then understand from the senior management, take a feedback from them, whether so you also need to um, see how much they are performing as per the KPIs which were defined. And if the KPIs were not defined, then you need to see whether the job description that they had been given, how much they are doing justice to that. Okay, so we need to see the outcome. So outcome, we need to see whether for each of those stuff, whether they have not met the expectation, or they have partially met the expectation, whether they have met the expectation, And the fourth kind of person, they have exceeded the expectation. So there are several exercises that you do once you categorize these people. So according to their performance, you should think about giving them increment. Okay, so people who have not met their expectation, they deserve the least percentage of increment. And those people who had exceeded expectation, they should get the highest increment. Okay, so if you don't do that, if you give everyone a plain that same percentage of increment, then you're doing an unfair thing with the people who have worked so hard. And those people who did not work hard and they got that same increment, they will say, they'll always say that we have got very less increment, even after not performing well. Okay, so this is another way to assess your staff. So once you have done the staff feedback, you have taken peer feedback, senior and juniors feedback for each staff. You have done the MBTI. You have done the skill intent matrix exercise, and you have done the outcome measures. Once you have done all this, now you need to sit with those in charges and understand. So whatever outcome you have got, whatever scores you have got for each of these in charges, now face to face, you need to confirm whether those things are correct or not. Okay. So there may be certain cases they have understood something differently and they have answered it differently. So just to confirm that this HR interview is important. Then you get more clarity on their ideas to resolve problem. So we also need to understand what is their line of thought for resolving certain problem. So that line of thought, is it useful for us or not? We need to assess that. Then assessing their line of thought goes with the hospital's vision and present requirements. So we also need to understand the same line of thought we are talking about. Is it going head to head? Is it going in the line of the hospital's vision, or it is going against it? And we also need to understand whether that line of thought is appropriate. Is it a right fit for the present requirement of the hospital? We might find some staff is there. They are showing in MBTI. They are like one of the leader personalities, and in the skill intent matrix, they are among the highly skilled people who have good intent. But here we might find that those people, they are not fit for the requirement of the hospital. Now if the person has a very good experience and skill of corporate hospitals, but now that same person, he is working in a big management position, and he has all those expensive ideas. But here in this present hospital, they need cost effective solutions. So that may be a problem. So that is why it is important that you get clarification on that and understand whether their skill set, their intent, their experience will actually help us or not. Okay. So this was about the HR assessment. I covered this very fast, but when we actually do this exercise, it's a very lengthy exercise and a very fruitful exercise. So once you understand where your staff are, how they are able to contribute to the overall vision and mission of the organization, then you have clarity whether those parts of the whole um, machinery called hospital where there are problems, okay, and how to resolve it, whether to replace it, whether to do certain wear and tear, greasing, and then it may work fine. So this is how we do the HR assessment. It's just an overview of it. I hope you liked the video. Please like the video and comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more such contents. So see you again. Thank you.